this video will demonstrate how to parallel two N8700 DC Power Supplies into a master and slave configuration. In this example, we're going to use the DC electronic load to connect to our two parallel power supplies. Now typically when you parallel two power supplies, you want them to be exactly the same model and the same current rating so that current going through the system has no chance of damaging either power supply. For this video, we couldn't find two power supplies with the same exact model, so we found two different ones. But when you're doing the parallel, please find two power supplies of the exact same model and current. The first thing we gotta do is designate which one is the master and which one is the slave. So in this video, the top one is going to be the master and the bottom power supply will be the slave. And we're going to set a voltage on each power supply. The master will be 5 volts and the slave will be 9.35. Now typically you want the slave to be a little bit higher than the master so that it goes into constant current mode. And we're going to set current on each one of these power supplies to be exactly the same setting, which is 14 amps. Now next we're going to go to the back to see the hardware configuration. In the back of this parallel setup, there are three things that we have to configure. Number one, we have to connect the two power supply outputs in parallel, which you can see we've already done. The second thing you have to do is configure the J1 connector between the master and the slave. The following diagram will show you how the connection is configured, and it basically requires 3 wires to jump between the different pins. And the last thing that we have to do is configure the switch 1 switches, which are the red things right here. And the only thing we have to do is to set switch position number 2 on the slave in the up position. And that's what you have to do in the back of the power supply for the parallel configuration. With the program settings configured and the back of the power supplies configured, we're going to now use the electronic load to pull 20 amps from the power supplies. So we're going to program 20 amps into electronic load and press input on. And as you can see, the power supplies are together putting out 20 amps going into the electronic load. Is 13.2 amps on the master and 6.81 amps on the slave. And as you go up higher and higher to the full output capability of these loads, you'll see that the current starts to become more evenly distributed between the master and the slave. But in a low power level, you'll see that the power sharing is not as balanced. And with that, our video demo is complete, and that is how you put the N8700 DC power supply into a master and slave parallel configuration.